Hi, I'm Darren and welcome to New Factory Classics. Today we're going to discuss Conair. Cameron Poe is fresh out of the Army Rangers. He's a badass military man who's coming home to his pregnant wife. But the local drunks won't have any of it. They may have had months to pick up on her, but they waited till the day that her husband came home. The drunks decide to wait for them in the parking lot and beat the crap out of Cameron. Unfortunately for them, he's trained in the Army Rangers and he knows how to kick their ass. And so he does. And one of them, he breaks his nose and sends the cartilage into his brain, like this. Apparently in Alabama, if you defend yourself while someone tries to kill you, you will go to jail, especially if you have Army training. There's a montage of Cameron working out in jail and writing back and forth with his young daughter for the 6 years that he's imprisoned. She has an incredible vocabulary for a 6-year-old. Personally, I don't know how to write at all. These words were written by AI. It may have been 5 minutes for us, but it's been 7 years for Cameron Poe. He's about to get out of jail. First, he has to hitch a ride on the jailbird, the set for the rest of the movie. The DEA is planning on sending someone undercover with the prisoners on this plane. They need to get some information before the person goes to a maximum security prison. That's what prisoners like though, rats. They love rats that are undercover, and I'm sure this is going to go perfectly without a hitch. The prisoners are mostly mass murderers and just lifetime criminals. They're being moved to a supermax prison via the jailbird. Let's cover some of the notable prisoners. We have Diamond Dog, Johnny 23, a real-life badass with incredible skill with a machete. Then there's Pinball Parker. And last but not least, their leader, Cyrus the Virus, voted most likely to become John Malkovich. Once in flight, Cyrus and Diamond pick their handcuffs and attempt to break out. Pinball Parker lights his seatmate on fire, and he almost dies. But frankly, I'd still rather have that than sit next to a baby. Within 2 minutes of leaving the ground, Cyrus, Diamond, and Pinball have killed half the guards and restrained the others. They haven't even hit cruising altitude yet. They're going to have to wait a minute before they can use the restroom. Doing the scheduled prisoner swap is the first step of Cyrus's plan. They have to drop off 6 prisoners and pick up 6 prisoners. And that drop-off is scheduled in Carson City, Nevada. I couldn't imagine being stuck with so many lowlifes, trapped and unable to get out. And then there's being stuck on the plane. When going through the other steps of his plan, Cyrus is interrupted by the DEA agent who attempts to kill him. He fails and the DEA agent gets killed. So you can go ahead and assume that for the rest of this movie, all drugs are unenforced. During the scheduled switch at Carson City, we gain a few more notable prisoners. We have their new pilot, Swamp Thing, and Garland Green, the craziest one of them all. He's butchered 30 people. Don't worry, Agent Larkin is on the case. He's like this movie's Reginald VelJohnson. I must say his clothes look crazy big on him. It's like he borrowed his father's suit for prisoner transfer day. Pinball, originally thought to be left in Carson City, was actually crushed to death in the landing gear. Cameron Poe writes a message to the cops on Pinball's chest and kicks him out of the plane. Remember kids, never climb into a landing gear. That plan is half-baked. Okay, hold up. Cameron Poe's family is in Alabama waiting for him to be released from prison. Agent Larkin is in Vallejo, implying that the prisoners left from San Quentin prison initially. Suddenly, though, Poe's family is in Vallejo with Agent Larkin. Also, Pinball's body drops into beautiful Fresno. You know what, anyways, just forget it. Here's a picture of Steve Buscemi looking crazy. Cameron, discovered to be working against the cons, must fight a convict in the hold below the plane. Nobody can hear them fight, and the only one who really knows that Cameron fought and killed another convict is Garland Green, and nobody wants to talk to him. Lerner Air Base, a fictional place right outside of Fresno, is about 200 miles away from Vallejo. Agent Larkin, having learned the warp abilities from Mrs. Poe herself, is able to make it to Lerner Airfield before the plane. When the plane crashes in Lerner Airfield, they begin to try and find their switch-up plane. They were supposed to fly to South America via a drug lord's plane, but he didn't even show up and keep his end of the deal. What kind of world is it where a mass murderer can't rely on a drug dealer? It looks like they're going to have to fly the first plane to South America. They're going to have to dig that one out of the dirt. Everyone help in and dig this one out. Except you, Garland. Go play with that 5-year-old in that abandoned pool. Poe and Larkin meet for the first time in one of the abandoned hangars. They decide that they're going to have to work together in order to stop this. Poe tells Larkin that he's going to get back on that plane because he's a hero and he's going to save the day, and tell his hummingbird that he loves her. Cameron refers to his wife as Hummingbird throughout the movie, but since she barely drinks any nectar, it's probably just a love name. Before they can dislodge the plane, the cavalry that Agent Larkin called show up, about 20 Army reservists and 20 local police officers. Cyrus was prepared for their arrival, so he sets up men on all sides and absolutely wastes them with the machine guns that they got out of the bottom of the plane. Poe doesn't want to help either side. He's just trying to run through with a syringe. His friend has diabetes, and he has to do everything he can to get him his insulin. Because that's the real villain of the American story, isn't it? Diabetes. Cyrus is pissed. As they flew away, somebody attached a car to the plane and almost made them crash. They have a traitor amongst them. In all the excitement, Baby O gets shot, and for the second time in several years, we get to watch Bubba die in the arms of one of America's greatest war heroes. The plane crash lands on Las Vegas Boulevard. Yes, they did go from outside of Fresno to the Grand Canyon to Las Vegas Boulevard in only several minutes. Let it go. It's just a movie. The idea of a major cargo vessel hitting a major American thoroughfare is just ridiculous. While most of the cons are caught, Diamond, Cyrus, and Swamp Thing all escape on a stolen fire truck. It looks like it's one last fight for Poe and Larkin. After an exhaustive chase through the greater Las Vegas region, Cyrus ends up being killed. He is smashed through a walkway, electrocuted, and then has his head impaled by a giant rock smasher. Cameron finally gets to see his wife for the first time in 7 years and meet his daughter that he's never seen before in real life. She's scared of him at first. Maybe it's because he killed 8 people today. But either way, he's an American hero, so she warms up quickly. So there you have it. The good guys prevailed and the bad guys are all dead. Not one con escaped. Well, maybe one. And now I have seen it, so you don't have to. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.